Hello, everyone. My name is Elvira Wallis, and I am responsible for Internet of Things at SAP. It will be my pleasure today to speak to you about Internet of Things use cases, and in particular, the implementation of Grupo Siro and their specific way of implementing Internet of Things. Therefore, I would like to introduce and hand over to my co-speaker. Juan, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Elvira, for the invitation to participate with you in this important event and to share some of the lessons that we have learned in the project of implementation.
Wonderful. Dear audience, I will start out by outlining SAP's Internet of Things strategy and positioning, followed by walking through how the Internet of Things enables Industry 4.0, and in particular, what does Industry 4.0 mean? With a couple of use case examples, and then we hand over to Grupo Siro. So with that, let me take you on a journey. Internet of Things and business processes. What is it all about? When we are looking at bringing real-world data, Internet of Things data, into the enterprise, there are a number of technology enablers. Of course, there's cloud computing, there's Internet of Things itself, of which many aspects are running in the cloud. And there's, of course, also edge computing, meaning the processing of data right where it occurs. All of that data is brought together. It is integrated between IT and OT to horizontally integrate business processes across the enterprise. There's the aspect of intelligent assets, intelligent factories, intelligent products, and the empowered worker. And so let me walk you through some of the examples that we have here. When we are referring to Industry 4.0, we also like to say it is about Industry 4.now, meaning the time for digital transformation is now. Whether it is about cloud process data, or data processed at the edge. And there's several aspects to it. It is about intelligent assets that are fed by real world data. It can be intelligent factories, intelligent products, or the empowered people. And let me walk you through a couple of examples for each of these. Let's start out with intelligent assets. When you're looking at the asset space, it is all about understanding the asset health and handling data centrally to achieve higher uptime and efficiency. For what purpose? For increased asset lifetime. That is what it's all about. Whether it is about anomaly detection, product replenishment, dispatching field service, or predictive maintenance. It's all for the purpose of increasing the asset lifetime. Let's look at the area of intelligent factories. A smart factory ought to be adaptable. It ought to be agile. And decisions need to be taken right there in real time on the shop floor. That means at the edge where the data occurs. So SAP IoT runs business processes at the edge or applies it in the cloud. And the key here is to apply business logic already at the edge where the data occurs on the shop floor. And then by aggregating the data in the cloud, there's multi-factory visibility. And it allows really for real-time processing, increased availability, and manufacturing excellence. Let's look at another example. Intelligent products. In this case, the enablement that Internet of Things brings about is about being able to design and being able to service intelligent, highly customized products. And for that, you need to have embedded technologies. SAP IoT connects the product usage data in order to enhance the customer experience. Whether it is about remote monitoring, whether it is about product as a service, or simply usage tracking and insights to then have later on a better delivery insights. And finally, let's not forget to empower the worker. Let's give employees the tools they need to do their job effectively, ultimately increasing reliability and worker safety. So let's look at the use case here. The use case will make all of what I've just mentioned very tangible by putting it into the context of a real life story. Our story here starts on the left side. Let me introduce you to Emilia. She's the production planner at a company, let's say at Pharma Limited, a chemical company. And for the production process, Emilia needs control of the flow of her liquids. She orders valves from a valve manufacturer. Now, during the shipping process from the valve manufacturer to Emilia, Emilia can use real-time insights provided by SAP IoT-enabled delivery insights in the context of S/4HANA. Why? Well, thereby she receives data about the expected delivery date, the geographical location, and current health condition of her valves. For example, she can see if any sudden shocks or drops happened that could affect the product quality of the valves. Now, let's go one step back and let's look at the valve manufacturer. In the past, the company only processed the mechanical parts like the body, the bonnet, the trim, and the packaging of the valve. In contrast, today, the manufacturer connects these mechanical parts with Internet of Things sensors. This enables the valve manufacturer to offer a completely new customer experience and a completely new customer offer, namely value-added services which open up additional revenue streams for the company. The smart valve manufacturer is also using Internet of Things technology in its own production. For example, with SAP Internet of Things enabled Kanban. IoT-enabled Kanban helps to assure that the required material is available during the production process without disruption. At the same time, it helps to make sure that the material is only provided for actual demand. In this way, the valve manufacturer avoids overstocking and wasting money. IoT-enabled Kanban is used to replenish sensors from a sensor supplier and the mechanical parts from a mechanical supplier just in time. Now, let's look at enterprise product design. Our second path starts with the production process of Pharma Limited on the left side of the picture. The valve manufacturer can now leverage data from the sensors connected to the valves of Pharma Limited and many other customers. And by that, detect potential pain points of the product. In other words, the valve manufacturer can see if a specific kind of valve in a specific environment has a specific defect at a specific time. And this knowledge enables important engineering changes of the product. For example, detecting frequently occurring issues with the sealing of the valve. In this case, the manufacturer needs to think about ways to improve the sealings. Thanks to using SAP Internet of Things, this engineering change management happens fast and reliably. It helps the valve manufacturer to consistently improve the products so that customers get what they need and also when they need it. Now let's look at the maintenance aspects. Our second path starts again with the production process on the left side of the picture. A maintenance service team is currently working on a valve that has a defect. Luckily, the maintenance service was triggered by the valve manufacturer before it could have caused a production downtime. Why? That is because the valve manufacturer had already known that this defect could happen before it happened. Such a service is called predictive maintenance and service. And SAP predictive maintenance and service enables the valve manufacturer to monitor the conditions of the valves. That way, it helps to estimate when maintenance should be performed. thereby saving costs and time because tasks are performed only when warranted. In order to avoid production downtimes and the high costs linked to it, Emilia needs to be able to rely on impeccable performance of the valves. And to guarantee this performance, the valve manufacturer needs to rely on real-time data. However, in case of very high latency, this performance can be a challenge. Now, how can we solve this latency challenge? In order to solve it, SAP provides SAP Edge services, which enables the processing of data close to the source of data. Intelligent technologies continue to evolve, and that allows real-time processing of sensor data with low latency at the edge, meaning the business process can run at the edge. Now, this in turn helps run autonomous decision-making and analytics securely at the location where the data is generated and send data only selectively to the cloud. At one valve of Pharma Limited, a mechanical part needs to be replaced. And luckily, the valve manufacturer always has enough spare parts in the plant's automated warehouse. Why is this possible? This is possible because of Internet of Things enabled replenishment. IoT enabled replenishment enables real-time visibility into material stock levels and ensures higher stock availability. In our example use case here, it automates the replenishment process of spare parts without manual human intervention. The sensors are replenished from a sensor supplier. As I walked you through this series of use cases, you could see the AMCO applications in intelligent factories, intelligent assets, intelligent products of Internet of Things in the context of Industry 4.0. And after this series of examples, I would like to hand over to Grupo Siro, and Juan will walk you through his implementation. Enjoy the story.
Thanks a lot, Elvira. First of all, I want to give a little explanation of our company, Untitled Chapter. We are a multinational company in the agri-food sector in Spain, and we are a specialist in development and manufacturing cereal-based products, specializing in the categories of biscuits, breakfast cereals, snacks, and pasta. We have a deep knowledge of our customer, and we develop products that respond to the different nutritional needs with a high level of innovation. We have a purpose. We cultivate dreams to nourish more people every day. It's the sense of our daily life, because we want to reduce the amount of people without food. To get this purpose, we have 3 strategic levels. One of them very related with Industry 4.0. One is the growth of the company in base of the knowledge of our customers. The other side is the culture and the leadership, empower the people. And in the middle is the operations of the company, the factories. The factories have 5 eggs, and one of them is Industry 4.0, technology. How can technology help the factories to produce better, to produce safer, and to produce more efficiently? We are convinced that technology is an enabler in the generation of efficiencies and values in all the process of the organization, not only in office, but always in the factories. The factories have a big improvement option with the IoT, with the technology. And we think that there is all reality. We need to join 3 parts in this kind of projects. IT, because IT has the knowledge of the cloud, of the new technologies, of these kind of things. OT is the owner of the factory, is the person who knows how can get to the line, to the device, and cybersecurity to protect all the system. These 3 areas should work together to achieve the efficiency. And in this project, was working together to get it. We can see some figures of our company. One of them is very important for us in relation with this project because we are in 5 countries with 16 factories. And we need to create a strategy of IT, of tech industry 0.0 that should be managed and governance from Spain and should be easy to development, to roll out to all of the countries. And we think that is one of the things that SAP can help us to do this strategy. Some part of our clients, 2 kinds of clients, B2B and retail. We are specialists in manufacture our products or their products in our factories. Is our key company. And these are some of our products. I'm sure some of these products should be in your restaurants, in your meal, and it's our moral responsibility to put these products in your kitchen every day with the best quality and the best price possible. As I said, technology is very important for us, not only in factory, but always in factory. Several years ago, in 2015, we developed a project called Paperless Factory with SAP product. And in this project, we introduced the operation floor of our factory SAP. It was an award project. And this project gives to the company one thing, to see that SAP can the functionality, enough functionality to manage all the information in a factory, in the floor of the factory, not only as an ERP, is always a financial system, not is for a factory production, and manage all the information about it, traceability, orders, check process, and this transform our factories. It was a process of digitalization, retire paper, and the process of start to change our company. But it's not a 4.0 project because we think that information comes from the machines to the device, to the SAP in this case, through a person, not directly. In this moment, start our vision of Industry 4.0. How can we capture the information of our machines? Very different machines, very different lines, not modern machine in the one case, other yes, but not always a machine that has the connection by herself, by default, and should be think that would be fantastic for us to take the information from the machine to SAP directly, to our factory, paperless factory. When we talk about technology, SAP always is our partner in this journey. We know SAP a lot. We have been working with SAP a lot of years, and we've heard good things and less good things. But SAP, we think that can help us in this project because our main information was in SAP, in our ERP, and we need the tool to transform the information from the machines or to carry the information from the machine to our SAP. And SAP with this technology, with IoT technology, can help us or could help us directly. But in the journey to arrive to Industry 0.0, we think that we have 3 stages. One of them is the connectivity. How can we connect to the machines in our situation with different machines, with old machines in sometimes, not machines that can be connected. And this step with this goal was achieved with the project, with this project, and it's something good. There are other 2 things in talking about Industry 0.0 is the big question is identify what is the information that I need to take from the machines, what I need to listen, and why I need to listen to this information. What is the purpose to get this information to transform it? Because if not answer this question, the project will be very difficult to transform, because the first question is technical project. very important, but it's something that we have solved with SAP. But the other second question, these two questions, is something that we need to answer this moment. And these two questions, the third question or the third stage is the predictive and put in value all the data. Okay, I have the data, the correct data, I need to put in value and give business outcome for the project. With one slide similar to this, we started the project, identifying what was the machine that we need that we want to connect. In this case, was a machine to produce cereal bars, a lot of cereal bars per minute, 1,000, 100, identifying what will be the business necessity that we need to cover with this solution, identifying problems of quality that could be solved getting information, thinking in the dashboard to offer information to the plants, and how can reduce problems of quality in a predictive way. It was the dream. The problem of connection it was the first challenge. How can we need to connect to the machines that are isolated, different brands, different problems. We need to define in the first part of the project a standard of information acquisition system. This standard should be easy to deploy in other factories easily, and we need to define this framework to work with the data. And there are other things that was important for us. We have all our factory information in our paperless factory in SAP, and the system to start to work with Untitled Chapter should be easy to connect our transactional data, our data in SAP with the data that we get from the machines. So this was something that we need to put in value from this first moment. How can I get information of this line and align or join with the number of orders that we are producing? To get this, we deploy this architecture. In the first part of the slide, we have 4 machines, different machines of the factory. One more older or other more young, more newest. And we have the system where we connect these machines, edge service. This server is on premise in our CPD. And with this server, with plant connectivity, we can connect easily data from these machines. Through Ethernet connection, we can get information in real time of this machine, different parameters, different things of the machines. We can see in the next slide some information. With this server, we can send information easily to the cloud, to SAP IoT, to storage information in this cloud, and start to do the next step. Prepare the data to join with ERP. In some cases, we can send information to the ERP, and in the other side, we can add information of the ERP through the platform of cloud connector, other pieces of software that are in the SAP cloud platform. One thing that we can do with this information, one more thing, is through SAP Cloud Analytics, we can deploy easily several dashboards with this information. Here we can see different protocols or different ways in which we get information of the machines. In the waiter, we can get information through UDP protocol. In another machine is a camera that take picture of the bars, cereal bars. We can get information through Modbus, more easy protocol, more modern protocol than I can get more than 3,000 measures per hour. A lot of information about our bars. If we see other two machines, old machine without connection by default, we can get information connection with a directly connection through the PLC and reading information in her memory, or in the other way, in the other machine, getting information through a connection by telnet, different way to get information. So we have one system, one central system that allow us to get information from different machines. The first goal of the project was solved, was achieved. And in the right of the slide, we can see the different functionalities that allow us make the edge service. Not only get information, that is our main goal. Give value to the information on the edge, in the plant, in our CPD, filtering, or other things that we can do with this information. And other thing that's important for us, if we lose the communication with internet, this server can buffer in the information and avoid to lose information. So with this architecture, with this system, we can get connection easily to our machines. Now we are doing some several dashboards, some application to put the information in value for the company. To answer the question that the factory asks us, I need information of this machine. How can I get this information? Yes, we can show this information through these applications, through the dashboards, and the factory can get the information, can get this value. Okay. The future vision of this project, well, we have solved the first part of the project. How can we connect machines? How can get information? This should be the first stage to answer these 4 points. How can we apport effectiveness, efficiency to the factory? How can this data allow us to detect in an early way quality problem, quality uses, and applying machine learning, how can be predictive with the problems, how can detect patterns of issues and solve problems in the first part of the line, not when the product is near to finish. And at the end is reduce, or another way is reduce manual process that now we are doing. We take a lot of data of quality in the line. This data can be taken automatically with this process. And these are three important learnings that we have get in the project. One of them is, okay, SAP is a good partner for this project. SAP can help us to get information to deploy Industry 4.0 projects. Her platform, or their platform, is good. It's enough. It allows to manage the connection with the machines, allow to manage with not only in the floor of the plant getting the information. We can add value with the SAP Cloud platform, with the different pieces of software that there are in SAP Cloud platform. In the second point, and very, very important in this kind of project, is that it's necessary, it's mandatory to involve the plant in this project. It's not an IT project, because it's a project for the company, it's a project for the plant, and IT is an enabler to offer to the project. And other point is identify the first moment, or as soon as possible, what are the needs, the information that the plant needs, the machine that you need to connect and get information and put in value as soon as possible to the team of the plant to solve some problems. Because if we offer a quick win, the plant will be more involved in the project. Thank you very much for your time, and we will continue working with technology to help us to fulfill our purpose. We cultivate dreams to notice more people every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation, Juan. And with that, I would like to introduce to you further learning experiences you can enjoy at SAP TechEd in 2020. Check out the links below. Take advantage of all the learning opportunities. And thank you very much for your attendance, and definitely enjoy what you can find on the Learning Hub. Thanks for attending the session, and we hope to meet you in another session.